Afek, Deputy Director General at the Sheba Medical Center, and former Director General of the Israeli Ministry of Health, speaking to us from Ramat Gan. And Professor Afek, let's talk about it, because the government is really now looking at that number of serious cases of hospitalizations as the key figure, more so than new cases or the positivity rate. What are you seeing there at Sheba, which has really been on the front lines of the hospitals in Israel dealing with the coronavirus?
So you're absolutely right. The way we now look at the corona epidemic is through the hospital and through the severely sick patients. And there we see a stability for the last, I would say, week or 2 weeks, and we are still waiting to see the decline. But I believe it will come as more Israelis get the booster shot, which is the most important, that the strategic way in which Israel is trying to fight the corona epidemic.
Right. Now, I want to ask you, we did see this strike by hospitals. I won't get into specifics. It was a particular class of hospitals that are outside the government framework that says the government was not living up to its commitment to sort of match their funds. But looking at it overall, there is a feeling still, it seems, in the health sector, the public health sector, that the new government has made big words, big promises, but isn't yet quite matching up to that. What's your feeling about that and the feeling there in Sheba?
Well, I think they should do a little bit more, not just because we are always fighting and we never ask questions. We take all the patients and we take care of them. But in order to, if Israel will make the public healthcare sector stronger, the public hospitals stronger, then we will be able to cope with the further situation and also give the back to the Israeli economy, to the state of Israel that it needs so much. So I do believe that instead of waiting for the increasing number of patients to give us more and more positions, give them all right now. Don't hesitate. And I'm telling you, we'll make Israel stronger and give a better backup to the Israel economy. That's exactly what we are doing, but we'll be able to do it more.
Right. Now, because you are a senior figure in the public health system, and I mentioned the former top official in the health ministry, I do want to relate a bit to yesterday's state controller's report, which one of its basic themes was the government not listening enough, taking input enough, and collaborating with health officials. I just want to get your reaction and response to that, and what really kind of needs to be done to see that that doesn't continue on into the future.
Well, I was the Director General of the Ministry of Health, as you just stated, before Moshe Bar Simantov, and I can tell you that every person in Israel or in the world entirely has its own position and must work according to what his responsibility. So the healthcare officials must take care of the economy or of the healthcare system. The government balances it. So they have other considerations, including the economy. And I believe that speaking together, taking into considerations all the different aspects of living safely with corona, which is the nowadays Israeli motto, I believe that the right solution will be made. I don't think that the government should adopt just the healthcare position. They must balance, and I think they'll end up with the right solution. I do believe that they must strengthen our healthcare system, which needs all the resources needed in order, in fact, to give a backup to the economy. But I don't see it as I would say, as a disagreement with the healthcare system, but rather a balancing of all the interests as a government who is responsible and has the authority must do.
Right. And lastly, I want to ask you, with these, we reached a point where many hospitals had shut down their coronavirus wards, and then we realized with the variants, it seems like this is something, a reality that, at least for the time being, Israel is going to have to live with. Tell us about how a place like Sheba deals with that new reality, continuing coronavirus situation.
Well, one of the advantages of Israel as a general and the Israeli healthcare system, I believe, is the flexibility of our system. So what we do, we take departments of internal medicine and we transform them to corona wards. Now, we do it in a flexible way. So when there is a decline in the number of of corona patients, we create a hybrid department. Part of it is used to hospitalize normal patients, so it's not normal, regular patients, and the other part is used for corona patients. So we can increase one part, decrease the other one. We learned how to live with corona. We know much more. We give a better treatment nowadays. But once the Israeli healthcare system, the public healthcare system, will be stronger, then it will take less efforts and we can give better care to all the patients because they deserve care as well. And we cannot postpone any more medical treatments which were postponed during the corona epidemic. But I do see that, and I do believe that Israel's strategy, and see the rest of the world is adopting our strategy. They are giving the booster, and Israel was the first one to do that.
Right.
And by the way, we published all the papers in the Israeli healthcare, in the international journals, right. And the rest of the world learns from us. So I think this is the future of the world. We have to live safely with corona, and that's what right. we do, and base our strategy on reimmunization. So we got the third shot, we have the fourth, right. fifth, and sixth. And I think that's the way the world is going to behave in the future.
Well, hopefully that will be the case going forward. Professor Arnon Afek from Sheba Medical Center, thank you for joining us.